Dude, it's 2 stars. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Dude, how old are you? You're like 50. Come on. Come on, Tool. Come on. Come on. Come on. Winston. Why are you retarded? Hey, come here. How easy was that? How easy was that? What's up, everybody? So, it's been incredibly cold here in Montana, and there's been a ton of snow and just a bunch of factors that have made it difficult to get to Libby. But that doesn't mean that we're not working on the bus. Yesterday, I picked up 80 pallets, and a lot of people wonder where you can get pallets from. I got all these from our local feed store. They're a great source for pallets because a lot of times, as they told me, the companies just don't want them back. They don't have anywhere to put them. So they just sit out in their yard taking up a bunch of space. So I just backed up a U-Haul. I rented a U-Haul. Backed it up, loaded it up to the very capacity, and got a little bit of pallet wood now for some projects. You can see these 2 stacks right is all old, really worn and weathered pallets. These are a mixture of either the lighter color of weathering or just really new wood or newer wood. This is some really cool wood that I've gotten so far. You can see just how dark and pretty that is. So we have a few different, this is from a couple of different pallets that we've broken down so far. And I love the colors of some of this wood. It's absolutely amazing. You know, a lot of times people see this wood and they see, oh, it's broken on the end, it's broken on the end. But I mean, look at this. Look at a piece like this. Yeah, it's broken, it's got its nails in there, but man, doesn't that look pretty? I mean, whether you're making a sign or whether you're making a, you know, if you're using it for siding or whatever you're using it for, I mean, man, that's beautiful. And, you know, we got some of this darker pieces. So, yeah, some of the really cool stuff about this wood is, you know, this wood's got some really cool colors to it. So, you know, you can see it's really worn. We cut it off with a Sawzall to leave these nails in it so that ultimately we get that really cool rustic look that we're looking for. There's just some really cool dark pieces. This one even has like nails in it, but they're rusted. So it just adds a little bit of more character and color to it, which makes it awesome. I love working with these pallets. This is going to be part of the siding that we're doing in the bus, as well as, again, you know, different pallet projects and things that we're working on. Up here, up in the corner, I have some old weathered 2x6s. Some of them have the nails, some of them don't. We'll probably clean that up a bit. Maybe get a little bit of a sand on it, but probably not too much. This is what we're actually going to be using for our table and for our counter. breaking down pallets is actually pretty easy, especially if you have a Sawzall. The right tools are amazing. The big key, you want to start on one side and be able to cut down the end. And you have pallets like this that have some space between the boards. On this back side, you can see there's a ton of space between those. So that makes it really easy to cut them down and get one side loose. And then as you saw, you just take the hammer and whack each one of these, and it creates a little gap between the board and the top board and this side board, which makes it really easy then to get your Sawzall right into that gap right there. And that's all you do, is you find the top of it and cut straight down. It's easier when you cut down than it is when you cut down, because this way you're only going through, you know, as you can see, about maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches of board, whereas if you cut this way, you have to go through the whole entire width, and that just binds up your saw. And what ends up happening is you end up cutting this wood all the way down. It dulls your blade a lot more. Something like this, the thickness of this wood is perfect for our siding, and as you can see, we have quite a few pallets that are like this. They're all uniform in terms of the width. So for siding in the bus, these pallets are awesome. And as you can see, they're just that really nice dark gray. You know, this one is a good gray, a little bit thicker than, it's a little bit thicker than some of these, than this one specifically. But they're a lot of them are about that same size. So really what we try to do is we try to find, like, here's one that's kind of like it's a lighter, it's not new wood, it's still weathered, but it's a lighter colored. And you have some of these thinner boards. These look like a couple darker boards. Here are some newer ones that are a little bit thinner. Down here on the bottom we got some of these reds. That's what actually makes pallet wood so cool, is, you know, it doesn't matter what, you know, where you get your pallets from. These all came from the same place, you know, and however these things cycle around and however they get from place to place, it's pretty awesome that we got such a big, diverse group of pallets in terms of the colors. I want you just to look at the color on these. So on this back side, you can see the wood is newer, but because they've been out in the weather, like, they really got that pretty gray on them. So you can see it's the same board, it's just that weathering on them is phenomenal, and that's basically just from letting them sit out in the rain. Pretty sweet. Well, one of the things about these pallets, and don't tell no one, but this is why I go to Home Depot, this is why I go to Lowe's. It's broke. I just bought this morning. I've actually only taken apart about 10 pallets, and this is what happened already. So it's really hard on tools. My advice for doing it, you need a Sawzall that has some great oomph. That's why we go with the corded. When you go with the battery charged, those things will lose their battery charge after 4 or 5 pieces of wood. Just like the air chisel. The air chisel uses so much air that it just completely dumps small tanks, which is why we haven't got the rivets on the bus done yet. These are the same thing. These things use so much energy to do what they do that when you're doing something really rigorous, like breaking apart these pallets, you need something that's just going to have a constant source of energy that you don't have to continually go through the process of charging the batteries. But this is the key. This is the key. It's so broken I can't get my blade off. You can see it in there. You can see it in there. It's just, which sucks because I just put this blade on like 2 minutes ago, right before I started this. Off to Home Depot. We'll get this thing exchanged. So really interestingly, the blade broke off inside of the end of that Sawzall, and told me to go get a whole new 6-pack, and they'll just do an even exchange for the one, which is pretty sweet. This is why I love Home Depot. Bought that thing this morning at 10:44. It's about 5 o'clock now. It already broke. Replacement, and they gave me the blade. Pretty sweet. I'm a big advocate of shopping local, and a lot of times I like to give my business to 2 of the local building centers here, Western Building Center and Ace. Those are 2 of my favorite stores when it comes to building supplies and things like that. But when I know that I'm going to be doing something that's really actually hard on tools, I will come to Home Depot or I'll come to Lowe's. And there's one reason why. They both have the same selection as all the other stores do. Obviously they probably have more of a selection just because they're much bigger. But it's the return policy. When you do something to one of their products, they don't question it. They just give you your money back, or they return the product that you had purchased, which is perfect because breaking down pallets actually is really hard on a Sawzall. That's why I've traditionally gone to a store like Walmart. Walmart, for $18.95, you can buy their 7-amp Sawzall. It doesn't have as much power. It takes a little bit longer. But if you burn the thing down in the process of doing it, you're only out $18, which is a lot easier to swallow than being out $70 or $100 with one of the more expensive tools. But that's why I come to a place like Home Depot, is because if I have a tool and that I've bought brand new and something happens to it within the first few days, there really is no question as to what the application was. It's just, it shouldn't fail in a week. So when you're doing something that traditionally is really hard on tools, like breaking down pallets, not that it wasn't designed to do that, because it was designed to destroy things and to make it really, really easy to break things up quickly. But for whatever reason, the process of it just is really hard on the Sawzall. Again, which is why we go with the corded one versus the battery powered one, because it just puts so much stress on the tool. But if you need to return it, it's much, much easier to return at a place like Home Depot than it is a place like Ace. And it don't feel as bad. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for participating in some of the comments. Getting this thing going is it's a little bit of a process, and I really appreciate everyone who's sent me messages and emailed me and just shared some love. That's awesome. So if you like this video, if you like what I'm doing, subscribe. Follow us on Facebook at Yaak Bus. Follow us on Instagram at Yaak Bus. Or you can check us out, all our videos out here on YouTube. But until next time, have a great day.